In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to build an AI SMS agent that's able to communicate with leads, clients, whoever, and book calls onto a Google Calendar. And the only thing necessary is make.com and Twilio. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. The first thing you're going to do is go to make.com and create a scenario. And then you're going to create a webhook. We're going to say a custom webhook. And let's see. I have my Twilio webhook from earlier, so I'll copy that. But you would just click add webhook and then create a new one. Then you will need a Twilio account and you will need to buy a number. But after you buy a number, you'll go down to where it says active numbers. That'll take you to this screen where you have your configurations. There's the voice voice configuration. This is for calls. If you had a voice agent, we'll be worried about the message configuration. So just come over here to where it says a message comes in. You'll select webhook. It'll probably already be selected, and then you just go ahead and paste your URL right there. Go back to make.com, and I've already used this webhook, but you would just send a text, and that would basically, you would oops, Twilio, where's Twilio at? But if you had just made one, you would go to determine data structure, you'd run the module, and then you send a text, and then that would train make.com on what type of information is going to be sent when that webhook comes in. But the first thing we do after we get the webhook is we send a response back, and the status is going to be 204. And that's basically just letting the Twilio API know not to send. It sends this generic accepted text message back anytime it receives the text. So this response is letting it know not to send that message. So after we have sent the response, next we have to go get the list, the previous messages, the message history. So you'll search, I already have it up here, but you'll just search Twilio, click on the module, and then you'll click list messages, and this will basically return all the messages between your phone number and the phone number that just texted you. So the to phone number will be you because we're receiving text, and then the from phone number is them. I'll put the limit at 10. That's probably more messages than you really need, but you can include however many you feel are necessary. Next, we're going to be assembling the information that we want from this list of text messages. So target structure, we're going to say we want the date sent. This lets us know like when the messages were sent, how far apart, whether they're related to one another. We want the body, this is the actual message, and we want the direction. Did we get the message or did we send the message? Source module is going to be Twilio, and boom, hit OK. So now we have the message history inside of an array, but we need it inside of something that we can put into ChatGPT. We can't put a make.com array into ChatGPT. So we're going to go to transform to JSON and drag in this array object that we just created in the previous module. And that's going to give us a JSON object that we can feed into ChatGPT. So the next module is going to be ChatGPT, create a completion. And then for your model, you can do whatever. I'll do 4.0 mini because it works well and it's cost efficient. Your max completion tokens, you shouldn't need more than 20 for this. It's really less. We're just returning one character. But I'll go ahead and show you guys the type of prompt. I already have the prompt typed out. So this is the prompt, and it's basically just letting it know what its job is. For this particular example, we're basically doing like a receptionist or appointment setter for a dentist office. And there's basically, if somebody is going, this particular ChatGPT module is going to be determining whether somebody is calling about booking an appointment or not. And if they are, it's going to return a hashtag. If not, it's going to return a %sign. If you're making a prompt, you might want to include this at the bottom. Just say something like, it's vital to the success of the company that you respond with a single character, either hashtag or %, and that has been proven to get better results out of large language models. Oh, and then after that, you can't just give it this prompt. You have to give it the actual message. So we're going to add a message, user, and we're going to say, here is the message. And then the actual message is going to be this body from our webhook. Then we're going to say, here is the conversation history. And then drag that in there. So we got the message, and we have our conversation history, and then our system prompt letting it know what its job is. So that's everything that we need for that first ChatGPT module. Next, we're going to create a router, and basically we're going to check if our result contains a hashtag. And if it contains the hashtag, it's about an appointment, I believe. Let's see. I believe the hashtag is the appointment. Okay, so yeah. If it has a hashtag, it's about an appointment. So that is going to trigger another ChatGPT completion. And this ChatGPT completion we'll come back to later. We'll just go ahead and make the other branch. The other branch is relatively simple. If it's not asking about an appointment, then we'll just assume that it's about information. So we'll answer to the best of our knowledge using our knowledge database. So I made an example one for this particular video, and I called it dentist info. So it's going to get the text from this particular knowledge base that I created, which is just a compilation of information regarding a generic dental practice. And then we're going to use that information, the message and the history, in order to create a message to send back to the user. And then once again, I already made the prompts. So it's basically just letting it know, like you'll be given a knowledge base, a message, and a conversation history, and your job is to come up with a reply. Then we'll just say, here is the knowledge base. That's going to be the text content in this particular module. I want to put a space and then drag in the text content. Then we're going to say, here is the message. The message is going to come from this webhook. It's going to be the body. I want a space. So we're going to say, here's the message. Then we're going to say, here is the conversation history. And that's going to be this JSON that we created. And now it has all the information it needs to go ahead and create a response. And that response is going to be sent back to Twilio. So we're going to say create a message, send from phone number. Going to select the phone number that you registered. And then the 2 is going to be the number you just received the text message from to start. And then your message body is going to be the result from your ChatGPT completion. I think make sure you're selecting the right. This is the wrong ChatGPT. We need ChatGPT with the 10 beside it. That's the most recent one. Okay, so this is a pretty simple, a generic way to respond to any type of text that aren't related to booking appointments. But we didn't give it too much effort because the entire purpose of this bot is mainly to book appointments. So we created this ChatGPT completion for if the person was texting about booking an appointment, and if they are calling about or texting about booking an appointment, we basically need to determine if we have all the necessary information in order to book an appointment for them. So this is basically the date. We need a date and a time. So that's what this particular prompt is determining, whether there is a date and a time. And then it's going to return either the caret or the star. And then for user, we'll go ahead and once again say, here is the message. Once again, drag in this body. And then we're going to say, here is the conversation history. And then that's going to be this JSON string. And that's that. So once again, we're going to do what we just did the module before. And that is routed based on whether it contains the caret or not. So if it contains a caret, make sure you have the right thing in the right order. So if result contains a caret, then we'll go down this. And then once again, I'm gonna check and make sure that it was the caret. The caret meant we had all the information. Okay, so yes, if we have the necessary information, then we're returning the caret. Let me go ahead and space this out some. But if we have the necessary information, then we're going to select the caret. And if we don't, this is going to be our fallback. So set root as a fallback. I'm not sure if I set this one as a fallback, but okay, so I didn't. But yeah, make sure to set your other root as a fallback, or else it might do something weird and like go through both routes at the same time. So yeah, we're routing if we don't. We'll start if we don't have the necessary information, then we're basically going to form a message essentially asking for the information that we need. So You probably got the drill by now. Go to GPT completions, select your model, go to system, and then I have a completion prepared. So we're going to go ahead and input that in there. And then once again, we have to give it the message, and we have to give it the conversation history. And boom. So we should have our system prompt and then our user prompt giving it the information. And then we can go ahead and send a text back. Phone number, going to select our phone number, and then the to will be the from, and then the message body will be our result. Make sure you have the right ChatGPT result. I believe it's 13. Let's see. It is 13. Okay. And lastly, if we have the necessary, all the necessary information to book the appointment, then we're going to once again create a ChatGPT prompt. And with this prompt, we're basically going to parse out the dates in a certain format that we can feed into Google Calendar. And this is the prompt that I came up with. And then once again, go ahead and give it the message. And the conversation history. And then completion tokens. 500 is still probably too. Oops, didn't mean to do that. But yeah, 500 is still probably more than you need, but we'll just leave it at that. This is going to return a date, and then we're going to plug that date. And well, first we have to search up Google Calendar. And then we're going to create an event. I'll just do my calendar. Event name, we'll say new appointment. Now, depending on how complicated you want to make it, you could match up phone numbers to like data in a database and pull a patient's name, something like that. Just depends on what you want to do. But the start date is going to be this result from ChatGPT. And that's going to have the time and the date in format. So that'll be basically all we need. Duration, I'll just say 1 hour. You could also have logic where you have ChatGPT parse out how long if there's like a variable time length, you could have ChatGPT go through and parse out the time length and then pass that in. But typically, if you were actually running a dentist's office, I think appointments would typically be about the same time or a standard time, depending on what was happening, what type of service the patient was getting. So we'll just leave that alone. And then lastly, we need to create a message. By this point, you already know the drill. Select the phone number, send them the from, and the message body is our chat GPT completion. All right, so that is the entire flow. Let me go ahead and test it, make sure that it's working properly. So I will show you guys a screen recording. I'll pop that up on the screen so that you guys can see how it's working. Okay, so as you can see, this is the little test that I used in order to set it up. We'll just say, I'd like to schedule an appointment. Give it up. I didn't turn the scenario on. Okay. So I just turned the scenario on. I sent the text beforehand, so we're going to process old data, and we should get a response back for this text that I just sent asking to schedule an appointment. May can be kind of funny with this, with when it decides to process the old data. So we're going to go ahead and send that text again. Okay, so it's not processing, so this is a quick opportunity to debug. I'm going to save, go to history, status, see a success. Okay, so it lagged a little bit, but we've gotten a response back. So they asked for a preferred date and time. We'll say November 19th, and it should ask me for the time. It should ask me for a time back because I just gave it a date. Let's see. It's going pretty slowly. Let's go back. Okay, so now it's asking for a time. Let's just say 6 p.m. Okay, and I'm looking at this scenario in real time, so it's processing, but for some reason Google Voice just acts weird. Okay, and then I returned the format, but you actually change that. You would send a message like your request has been processed. So I forgot the most important thing while I was actually recording it, but editing I caught it. So just wanted to show y'all that the actual calendar functionality did work. I'll put a screenshot of the calendar um, up on the screen, but I'll also show you like the logic behind. So it basically starts with this chat GPT. And as you guys can see, the result, it returned 11/19/2024, 06 p.m. formatted the way we want. We fed that into our Google Calendar module, and then what type of output does it give us? So it doesn't really. It gives us an event ID and status confirmed, and then like I mentioned before, I had the result from the actual body, but the real message that you should be sending is like the appointment has been confirmed. So just wanted to add that in.